Better Call Saul is one of those shows that only gets better with repeat viewings. Believe me, I've seen it 4 times. Every time I watch it, I always end up with new thoughts and observations about character dynamics, themes, the lighting, or specific scenes. Like Breaking Bad, Better Call Saul does more showing versus telling. Because we're never told explicitly what to think at any given moment, sometimes certain scenes or certain moments aren't clear in our minds until we dissect them a bit. So welcome to the second mini essay in the casual series Confusing Moments Explained, where we'll look at the most perplexing moments or elements in any story and explain what they most likely mean for the story and/or characters. These moments are often confusing because the relevance or meaning isn't apparent upon initial viewing, and that's okay because they're meant to be thought about rather than taken at a surface level understanding. So with that in mind, let's explore a famously confusing moment from Season 4, Episode 2, Breathe, and answer the question, why does Jimmy McGill reject the job he used his charisma to land in the first place? If it's your first time here, my name is Quentin. I'm a writer, a teacher, and sometimes performer. It's time yet again to look at the compelling artistry of Better Call Saul. Don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe to the channel for more videos like this one. Let's get into it. So why would Jimmy, fresh from being suspended for a year from practicing law, and with his brother Chuck dead, try so hard to land a position at Neff Copiers, only to tell them he's outraged that they were so easily convinced, and then deny the job offer? For starters, when touring their main office, Jimmy spots a Hummel figurine, this one being Bavarian Boy. It makes sense Jimmy would have some knowledge on the Hummel lore, especially considering how personable he was with his clients from seasons 1 to 3. You can tell by him putting his hand to his mouth that he's trying to hide his reaction to noticing the figurine. He might be excited by it or curious about it, because again, we can assume he has some knowledge from the seniors he was working for. He fixates on it a little bit before Mr. Neff comes in and refers to the wall of random items as crap that needs to be thrown away, which indicates to Jimmy that they have no idea how sought after that Hummel figurine is. He's probably contemplating stealing it for himself to sell, which is exactly what he ends up doing in the very next episode. Either Jimmy swindles them into giving him the job so that he can steal it after hours as an employee, but then got put off by how easy it was, or Jimmy never intended on taking the job since he already had the idea of stealing the Hummel, but swindled them to test how trusting they are in order to see just how easy it would be to steal from them. Either way, it's the potential for financial gain, especially now that he's currently not a lawyer, that entices him to bait and switch the duo of Seymour and Mr. Neff. Another reason for Jimmy's bait and switch is his desire to avoid his complicated feelings. In the previous episode, Smoke, Jimmy's brother Chuck McGill set himself on fire after a long battle with his mental health and with Jimmy. It's revealed to Jimmy by Howard that HHM's malpractice insurance rates went up due to Chuck's meltdown at the bar hearing, which forced Chuck into retirement. Jimmy was the person who made that known to the insurance company, thus having an indirect role in Chuck's self-inflicted death. Jimmy, being extremely avoidant, doesn't want to think about Chuck or the role he played in his death, and one way he avoids dealing with his feelings is by scamming. Scamming or cheating the system gives him a high that soothes the stress and trauma of difficult feelings or situations. Jimmy is out here job hunting in the first place, mostly out of this avoidance of the trauma, so it makes sense he'd throw a random scam in the mix. He's almost testing himself to see if he can talk his way into the job offer, conning them with his charisma since they don't know his background at all. Jimmy manages to convince them with one passionate, charismatic speech, and he's annoyed by how easy it was. It's possible he wants more of a scamming challenge, since part of the thrill is the build-up and execution of the scam on top of the outcome. In this case, the outcome came too easily, and thus the high he wants doesn't come, and he's back to the dark places Chuck's death inflicts on him. The outcome of the scam is practically handed to him, and thus he feels frustrated by the lack of a challenge or high in order to avoid his feelings, so there's no way he's actually going to take the job at Neff Copiers. The final reason why Jimmy refuses the job offer, despite his song and dance, is because he views Seymour and Mr. Neff as sheep. You might recall a flashback in the opening teaser of Season 2 Episode 7, Inflatable, where a grifter tells Jimmy,
"There are wolves and sheep in this world, kid. Figure out which one you're gonna be."
Jimmy McGill that day forward decided he would be a wolf, playing the system that abused his parents to get whatever outcome he desires. He vowed to never be like his dad, who Jimmy characterized as a soft touch. In other words, he looked at his dad as a sheep. A person naive, weak-willed, and easily taken advantage of. So when Jimmy quickly and successfully cons Seymour and Mr. Neff into giving him the position with no background check or apprehension, it reminds him of his dad. And of course that would rub him the wrong way. He's not going to want to work for a bunch of sheep. From Jimmy's point of view, he's already had an entire childhood of that. So even though the job is handed to him on the spot, he hates how easily convinced they are. Just like all the people who took advantage of his dad, Jimmy the Wolf has just taken advantage of a bunch of sheep, and it was all too easy. Jimmy is already trying to avoid the thought of Chuck's death. He doesn't want to be reminded of his dad on top of that. Therefore, although he has the job, he doesn't want to work for the sheep. Jimmy is a wolf as far as he's concerned. So to conclude, those are all the reasons why Jimmy McGill didn't take the job at Neff Copiers, despite successfully talking them into it. He's thinking of stealing the valuable Hummel figurine, he's annoyed that he didn't achieve the scamming high he wanted to in order to avoid his feelings, and the people all set to hire him after his song and dance remind him way too much of his dad, who he thinks of as an overly trusting sheep. We all know Jimmy wasn't going to last at Neff Copiers even if he did take the job, because bigger and more dangerous things were on the horizon, especially after getting his law license back. Thank you so much for watching. My Patreon is linked below if you want to support me in making these videos. Or hey, why not throw me a tip by clicking on the 3 dots below? Or become a member of the channel. You can earn some badges and get early access to videos like this one. Any amount you can afford helps a lot. Thank you. A very special shout out to our newest channel member, Niraj Agarwal. Welcome to the channel, my friend, and thanks for the support. And thank you to our other channel members, Vermilion Star, Beatrice Paz, Coral Etkin, and Adam S. Don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe. See you soon.